The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is Cowboys Storyline, and I am Nick Eatman, and I'm here with nobody once again. I was on a Cowboys break this morning. It was nice to be back for a little bit. Had some guys to talk to, but nope, this is the show, and it is the Storyline, and man, do we have a storyline. I'm supposed to be able to talk all about the game, 2 days removed from our first game. That's what we were going to chat about until Zack Martin, the number one storyline of camp. It looks like he will be back with the team right now as we're here talking. They're finalizing a deal, agreeing to an extension that will pay him about $8.5 million over the next 2 years, guaranteed. So he was, from what I've gathered here, was making about $13 a year. Now he's up to about $18 a year for the next 2 years. So that is putting him in the talk of obviously one of the highest paid guards in the league. He's obviously, in my opinion, the best guard in the league. But contracts aren't always about just who's the best right now. It's about projection and potential and down the road. And so that's when you're talking with a 33-year-old guard. You got to kind of figure all that kind of stuff out. But I think the game mattered. I mean, offensive line wasn't good. It wasn't good in the first half, and yeah, it was backups going up against the first team for the Jaguars. But that happens in the games. I mean, some of these guys, if you get hurt, you got to play in the game, and I think that factored in. I really do think that it factored into this, and Cowboys are going to give Zach, I think what he wants. I mean, we'll see when he comes in here and if he talks to the media in the next few days. But this is I think everyone feels much better about this situation now, and it's kind of what holdouts. That's what happens. You wait and see. What the situation changes, and maybe he wanted more than what the Cowboys did. Who knows what the negotiations are? All I know is that it looks like Zack Martin will be in camp as of Monday night. He'll probably be out on the field in some capacity on Tuesday, and that's training camp can officially get underway. As Nate Newton said, I talked to Nate. He's big offensive lineman. The guard talk. He was like, now training camp can start, and so of course you ask some of these other guys that have been grinded for a while. I bet you the training camp's been going for a while. But that's the big news, man. Big news to get Zack Martin back here and hopefully happy and excited about this next season. I think he's the best offensive lineman, I think, in the league. I think he's one of the two best offensive linemen in Cowboys history, along with Larry Allen. I believe that that's where Zack Martin is. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. I'm not breaking news there. Certainly Ring of Honor type guy. And, but more than anything, a leader on your team, leader in your locker room. And I don't think that this situation will affect his legacy or anything like that. I think that, it's a business. It always has been. Some of the greatest players in Cowboys history have been cut. The Troy Aikmans and Emmitt Smiths and Deion Sanders, those guys were cut. So it's a business at the end of the day, and Zack Martin felt like he had to take care of his business as well. So I could always see both sides of this, and so I'm glad that looks like the two sides are resolved. So that's the big storyline. Hard to top that. They did have a game against Jacksonville. We can go through some of the main things that happened there. I wrote a column about it. I thought Deuce Vaughn was everything we thought he'd be and more. He's a running back that's going to get screen passes, and he's going to get the ball and right in between the tackles, and he's going to go over the middle and make catches and jump up in the air, and he did all that. I mean, he's it's going to be interesting now to see what the Cowboys do with him. I guess I can take my badge off here. I'm on the show. I think he's going to be a guy that I think they play him some against Seattle, But I would play him early. I'd get him out there. I want to see what he can do against the best competition with the best blockers. We saw what he can do in the second half of a game. We'll see what he can do in the first half. I don't see him doing a whole lot more after that. I think he's made the team. He's just too dynamic of an offensive player not to have somewhere on your football team. I think it's one game. But he there's no way he should have lasted as long as he did in the draft because I say this all the time. College football is not that different than pro. It really isn't. It's the same game. It's 100 yards. They 53 yards wide. I mean they keep score the same. If you're an All-American player in college, there's probably a spot for you in the NFL. And we get caught up in measurables and all that kind of stuff. And again, I understand it's one game. I'm not saying this guy is going to be the next Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, even the next Darren Sproles. All I'm saying is there's a spot for playmakers on this team. You saw them lose to the 49ers in the playoffs because they didn't have any playmakers. And what it looks like is a guy that made plays in college his whole life. He's made plays. He plays his first game. He made plays. Guy's making the team. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Who else played well? Jalen Tolbert. Really nice seeing what he did. I was really impressed with his game. The offensive pass interference I thought was bogus. I don't really care about the call. It's a preseason. Doesn't matter. He went up and got the football. You want him to show some dog in him. Well, he did. He went up and got the ball. It doesn't matter. They went and scored on that anyways, and he scored the touchdown. So he got a touchdown out of it. I thought he played really well in the game. Dennis Houston did a nice job. It's kind of what he does. Preseason, training camp, Dennis Houston will do his thing. So let's see if how that translates. I thought Kavontae Turpin took a step back. Not only with the fumble on the kick on the punt return, but had some issues there. Dropped the ball. Sounds like there were some alignment issues for him. So. When you're trying to clarify, okay, who's the fourth receiver, fifth receiver, things like that, I thought Tolbert did a nice job of separating himself into the pack there. Defense, I thought that, the depth really showed. The defense just trotting out. I mean, you can't keep everyone out of the game. So you had good players out there playing on defense as backups. And they did a good job. I mean, Sam Williams and Dante Fowler and Damone Clark, who's not really a backup. I think he's a starter. And we're going to talk with Damone Clark actually later here on our next break. We're going to bring Damone up here and chat with him. So I'm excited to talk to him. But, I just thought the depth on defense really showed. That's impressive to see. And then on special teams, kicker is a big deal here. Brandon Aubrey's getting the reps, made a couple of kicks, missed an extra point, didn't look good with that. Kickoffs were good, strong, out of the back of the end zone. I'm not comfortable with the kicker situation. I'm just not. I'm not comfortable with a guy that didn't do it in college at all. He was a soccer player. He's done it a little bit in the USFL. This is too good of a football team, I think, to take a chance on that. It's fine to let this guy try and see, but I think he's going to have to be absolutely perfect. I want to see him in Seattle, good environment there. On the road, maybe make a 50-yarder field goal. I'd like to see that, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, I would lean towards a veteran. I really do, but you got to give this guy all the opportunities to see if he can impress you. But this is a good football team, and you've got to have some confidence in your kicker. And I don't know if the Cowboys really have it right now, but again, it's one preseason game, and we'll see what happens in the next couple. But overall, the best thing that happened in the game was the fact that they interviewed Mike McCarthy, and he said, injuries are minor to Malik Jefferson, minor to Nashawn Wright, Junior Fihoko should be back. That's that's a good thing on a preseason game, number one. No real injuries. You got individuals that did well, and that's that. So I thought overall week one out of the chute pretty good for the Cowboys. And obviously they get here Monday and come to find out that they're now gonna have Zack Martin in training camp, and he'll be here for the last week and should be ready to go obviously when it matters the most against the Giants. All right, so that's some pretty good storylines for you. We are going to take a break. When we come back, Damone Clark's going to join us, and we're going to answer your questions later on in the show. Be right back.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
Welcome back, Cowboys Storyline, and as promised, we've got Damone Clark, Cowboys' second-year linebacker, with us, and one of the guys that a lot of people are talking about from the game on Saturday. You didn't play a ton, but when you did, you were flying around out there. How did it feel for you to be out there and play again?
I mean, it felt good being out there, just going back, thinking about my time last year, not being able to have an off season, not being able to, just participate with the guys and just getting thrown in last year. I was excited, go out there, just have fun, playing the game that I love to play.
So this had to go back to high school scrimmage days, because there's no preseason in college. You didn't have a preseason last year. So you never really played games that don't really count. But I have a feeling with your mentality, they all seem to kind of count. I
mean, everything counts to me because obviously, at the end of the day, you want to put good stuff on film, and you are who you put on film. Right. So it meant something to me. It might not mean nothing to our record, but to me, it's another game for me to go out there and play. I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, so I want to make it to the NFL. So every chance I get to get on the field, preseason, regular season, it don't matter. I'm going to go out and give my all.
What has been the big difference, though, from last year to this year, maybe from a conditioning standpoint? Do you feel lighter, leaner, bigger, stronger? What's been a big difference?
I mean, I would say mentality, and I would say just trusting myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's been different for me, just going out there and just trusting my keys, trusting that the coach is going to put us in the right position to make the play.
I'm going to take you back to last year. When you got here, you were praised a lot from your mentality of hey, it doesn't matter what people think. I'm going to play. I'm going to try to play this year. Why do you think that was different from maybe the Cowboys' view of your injury to other people that thought maybe he wasn't going to play at all this year?
I mean, I just think people on the outside, obviously, just the Cowboys. So people going to, always have something to say. It happens, So my biggest thing was just coming here, controlling the things that I control. I had all the faith that I was going to play this year. I have one Father, and that's God. I believe in God. God, he told me, you going to play this year. Be ready.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, bro, just stay ready so you ain't have to get ready.
It's the second time we've heard that line here and this week. Great stuff. Also, your fifth-round class last year. I mean, Daron Bland was one of the biggest, surprises. You're a pretty big surprise as well, just like you said, just to play. You feel like this class, what is it about that year two jump? What happens? Year one, you kind of get your feet wet, but then year two, you're able to make that leap. Is there something? Is it more weight room? What do you think is the big difference there?
I mean, to me, I think it go back to the mentality part. Obviously, the biggest thing for me going from year one to year two is just to take that jump.
Right.
You know, be the best Damone Clark I can be. Saying I can speak for DB too. It's the same thing for all the second-year guys. You know, the biggest thing they want us to do is take that second-year jump. You know, just talking to a lot of the coaches, the second year is when you can kind of fall off. You know, last year was a learning experience for us. Now it's time to step up.
Well, this is a fan show too. We get a lot of fans engagement here. So I've been able to tweet something out real quick. I'm gonna get some questions from the fans because they seem to they know you pretty good here. Like this one from Mike Poland. Which was your biggest highlight? Getting the number 18 jersey or getting drafted? That's somebody that knows what they're talking about here because they know the tradition at number. If you wear number 18 at LSU, means you're a baller, both on and off the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would say getting drafted. You know, I mean, obviously the number 18 at LSU, the history behind it means a lot. But I know I got 18 just for being the guy that I am. You know, the same guy that I am today. You know, so I would say getting drafted because there's a lot of guys, you know, play football. I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and we all dream of playing in the NFL. And we're all a part of that small percentage that get a chance to play. So I would say getting drafted.
All right, this question from Magneto, he wants to get you in trouble, basically. He says, rank the Dallas linebackers from fastest to slowest. You don't really have to go all the way to the slowest, but maybe the top 2 or 3. Who's the fastest linebackers on the team?
I mean, I'm the fastest linebacker.
Okay.
I'm number 1.
So then I guess it doesn't matter after that, huh?
No, I don't.
Usain Bolt never cared who finished second and third because he was up there winning.
Yeah,
so
if you look behind you, then you slowing down, they're going to catch you.
Okay.
But, I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, we all can run. We're all big and we all can run.
All right. So it starts with Damone Clark, and then it doesn't really matter after that. All right. So Phil Zoppi, what players on film do you watch to try to model your game after?
I would say Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a guy. Devin White, my fellow LSU brother.
There you go.
And Darius Leonard. You know, those 3 guys. And I got Leighton sitting right alongside me, too. So even Leighton, you know, I can't leave Leighton out. But
what does he help you with the most? What does he help you with?
Man, Leighton's a good guy, bro. Like a lot of people might not know that. You know, a lot of people might only know Leighton on the field, but off the field, Leighton is a good guy. He'll give you the shirt off his back. You know, and he's a guy that even during my rehab process last year, he used to come sit in my rehab session with me.
Yeah.
You know, small stuff like that meant a lot to me. You know, it was times when I was just standing on the side. He always told me, bro, just be ready, stay ready. And then, you know, the Bears game, I went on the field, and he was smiling. He was happy for me to be out there. So, Leighton, that guy means a lot to me, bro, because he, even in the offseason, just working out with him in the offseason, watching film with him, just picking his brain, just making sure I'm seeing the same thing that he's seeing. So, bro, he's a huge role to me, you know, having success.
He's the wolf hunter. What is your nickname? You have one? You have something?
Nah, to be honest with you, I don't have one. I just fly around, make plays. I guess I'll tell the fan get one for me.
Get one, okay. Well, we can definitely get that.
Yeah.
Last one. They drafted Mozzie Smith. Obviously, Jonathan Hankins up front. What do big guys like that mean for linebackers that like to run around?
I mean, you just named two of our big guys, but you know, I would say all of our big guys. You know, a big thing just having those guys up front that free up chances for us to make plays, take a shot, and make a play.
I did say last one, but I'm going to steal one. Tony Dorsett. Does that do anything for you? Have you heard that name? I mean, anybody when you put it on the 33, you know, historically that's one of the famous running backs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I met Tony Dorsett, talked to him, really cool guy. But I mean, honestly, when I first started playing football with the South Baton Rouge Jaguars, I was number 33 anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, when I found out 33 was open, I thought back to my roots. Me wearing 33, and then obviously knowing that the great Tony Dorsett wore 33. So for me, it was like going back to my childhood and just, you know, got to honor the number because last Tony Dorsett was a really good running back.
Yeah, he was definitely good. He was good with the ball in his hands. I would imagine when you get the ball in your hands too, you're probably gonna make some plays.
I'm waiting on that opportunity, but I'm gone.
Awesome. All right, there's the new 33, Damone Clark. We really appreciate you stopping by. We're going to be right back on Cowboys Storyline to finish the show and answer your questions. Be right back.
Appreciate you.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
We're back for the final segment here. Cowboys Storyline. Want to thank Damone Clark for coming by. Really good stuff out of him. Love seeing his career path so far. Just a great story for him. Just to a player that thinks he's going to be a second-round pick, maybe higher than that, and then has an injury that they find out that took him off the draft board for many teams, and Cowboys were able to do some research, keep him on their board, and got him in the games last year. And so now you get into year two, and I mean he's way ahead of where we thought he'd be, and just looks like he's ready to go. His business-like approach is amazing. So one of the guys that I think is going to take this defense even more over the top. All right, let's get some questions here. One of the questions was about Zack Martin. Of course, that's the biggest news of the day. Zack Martin has agreed to a new deal. Will be at practice on Tuesday. One of the questions from Jake Benoist, he says, what's the downside to paying and extending Zack? Is it just the dead money in the future? It seems like the time to win is now. That's the downside to any contract. I mean, any contract that you pay is the downside is that they're not going to perform to that level. I mean, that's simple as that. I mean, no different than Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker. I mean, now obviously when you pay older players, yeah, you could say, well, he's got what is it, $8.5 million guaranteed over the next 2 years on top of what he was already making. So, it looks like around $18 million per season. For a 33-year-old, but a 33-year-old that is not slowing down. He hasn't shown that. He's an all-pro player. He's been an all-pro player since the moment he got here, and he's an all-pro player now. If you care about Madden ratings, heck, Madden's got him at a 99 right now. So this isn't a contract for what he's done. This is a contract of what they think he's going to do. And yes, there was a little, a battle there going on, and I don't know if you call a winner or loser. I think the winners are the Cowboys as a team. Dak Prescott's the winner. The running backs. I mean, whoever Tyler Biadasz is a winner. I mean, you got a guy lining up next to you at right guard, and whoever's going to play a tackle, whether it's Steele or eventually it will be. That's what makes this thing work the most. So, big time news for the Cowboys, and I think that getting Zack done will only take him to another level here. All right, more questions here. How about what position? This is from Dennis Nelson. What player or position do you see that could be used to trade for an area of need before the final cuts? D-line flipped or O-line perhaps? I don't see O-line depth. Even with Zack Martin coming back, I don't see O-line depth for trade. Sorry. D-line perhaps. There's too much going on the D-line. I mean, there's too many drafted players that are at backups. I just don't. Where's it going to shake out? Quentin Bohanna's in the back end of this. I mean, Neville Gallimore's in the back end. They drafted Junior Fihoko. I mean, Chauncey Golston. I mean, and these are all backup linemen and tackles. So I can see D-line being one there for sure. But other than that, not a whole lot of other depth. Maybe tight end. I don't want to get into names, but perhaps tight end if you wanted to go that route. But I don't see that happening really. All right, how about Victor Perez? What most impressed you on Saturday, and what gave you the most concerns? What impressed me the most, I thought the receivers. I mean, we talked about this earlier. I thought the receivers did a nice job. I like the play calling and the offense. I like the structure of the offense. I like crossing routes over the middle. I like guys running in open spaces. So that was impressive. I thought the receivers did a good job. What concerned the most? Concerns. Well, I mean, like I said before, the kicker. It's a concern to me. You got to make extra points. You can't miss them like that. I know it was one, but that's not the standard. I thought Cavante Turpin, fumbling the ball on a punt return. I mean, that's, it's like you're supposed to be, all right, let's see what you do at receiver. You got this return thing locked up. You're good there. Let's just see what you do at receiver. And he fumbles right out of the bat. And then dropped the pass at receiver as well. He did come back, have another catch. He's going to play in Seattle. He's going to be. I think he's going to be fine. I still think he's a dangerous kick returner. I really do. But we'll see how it kind of shakes out with him and whether or not having Deuce Vaughn here changes any of that. All right, Shane Lee. He says, in Kansas City, the reigning champs have Mahomes play a series. Why do the Cowboys rest their starters, especially with a new system in place? Shouldn't get as many live reps as possible. Shouldn't they get as many as possible? Yes, sure. You can do that. This team has been prepared for the regular season. Let's go back and look at the last few years. They are ready. I mean, the first half of the season. I mean, the first month of the season, they've been 3-1 most of the time. Sometimes 2-2. Maybe 4-0 one time. Like, what they're doing is getting their guys ready to go. And I don't think you can make the argument that they're not. And you just don't want your starting quarterback to get hurt in the preseason, or any player, for that matter, to get hurt in the preseason. It's a risk versus reward. I just think they have confidence in the work that they're doing out here against each other, against their defense, that is getting them ready to go. And so I think that as great as you might feel if they go out and Dak plays in Seattle and goes 4 for 5 for 65 yards and a touchdown, you'd feel good about that. You'd feel really bad if he hurt himself and didn't play. I mean, so it's pros versus cons, and I just don't think that it matches up. All right. Dustin Lowmiller, who's your tight end 3 and 4 right now? Could we see a shakeup there? Sorry, guys, trying to get as much water as I can here. 3 and 4 tight ends. This is where I would lean on like Patrick or Derek to say something here. I think Ferguson and Schoonmaker are there, and then Hendershot, Sean McEwen. People want to just push him to the side, but the Cowboys really like him. They think he's a good player. They think he's very versatile. He's good special teams. He's also kind of a fullback role. So he's a guy that's going to factor in. And then you got John Stevens, who is like this year's Hendershot. And he had a really nice game, and he's not going anywhere either. So I'm not going to say, I don't know who 3 and 4 is right now, but could we see a shakeup? Yeah, you're going to have to see a shakeup because they're not going to keep 6 tight ends or 5. And yeah. You're going to see something there. All right, Brett Bender, in your experience, how much does a preseason game really show us for the regular season? I guess I should have answered that in the other time. We were talking just a few minutes ago about playing guys. Not at all. it doesn't help you at all. It really, I mean, I can go back and look at it. Go look at the teams 2 years ago. Really good team. 12-5 football team. Went 0-4 in the preseason. I've seen some 0-4 teams here that have gone in 2018. This was a really good team. They were 0-4 in preseason. I've seen 3-1 teams that didn't do anything. The worst team in Cowboys history, 1989, they were 1-15. They went 3-1 in the preseason. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What happens in the game doesn't matter. I think individually, though, it can. I think for a guy like a Dak Prescott, I think it mattered in the preseason, when he was a rookie. So I'm not saying individually it don't matter in the preseason, but I do think overall wins, losses, and how the team plays and all that, no, not at all. All right, Daniel Barnett, who impressed you the most against Jacksonville that you weren't expecting to impress you? That's a good question, because you can say who impressed you, and then you throw out some guys that we've been talking about. But somebody that I wasn't expecting, how about Dennis Houston? Because, that was last year's thing. You didn't hear a lot about him, but he actually had a pretty nice game as well. And he's kind of been under the radar this year, but Dennis Houston is the guy I'll go with there. All right, Chuck Bradshaw. How does this roster compare with the others you've seen since covering the Cowboys? It's probably top 5. I mean, this is a really good football team. And so it's early. It's got question marks. The running back position's a little shaky with the backup, and you don't even know if Tony Pollard, how he's going to be as the starter. But I like the receivers. I think they got a lot of depth at tight end now, and I think you got a lot of depth on defense. I think the defense is going to be nasty good. But because you don't really know exactly what's going on, and backup running back, kicker's a little shaky. I can't say it's one of the best, or the best, but I would say, top 5 for sure. This is a very talented team, and I think this is a really good team that can go far. But you got to have luck kind of go your way. All right. One more drink of water. I think we're done here. It's been a good show. A lot happening here, from Zack Martin to Damone Clark to your questions. We appreciate it. We're expecting some big time guests here to finish out training camp, so stay with us here. But we'll until tomorrow. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We got maybe one, maybe 2 guests tomorrow. You have to stay tuned for that. All right, for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,